coming to you live from Bowling Green State University. Welcome to the Robert W. and Patricia A. Maurer Center Grand Opening and Dedication.
Good evening. I am Pam Conlon, Vice President for University Advancement and President and CEO of the BGSU Foundation. Welcome, and thank you for joining us virtually and in person as we celebrate an important event for Bowling Green State University, the grand opening and dedication of the Robert W. and Patricia A. Maurer Center, the new home of the Alan W. and Carol M. Schmidthorst College of Business. Our event this evening is being held inside the Maurer Center. Due to the global pandemic, Bowling Green State University is following all guidelines of the Centers for Disease Control, the State of Ohio, the Ohio Department of Health, and Wood County Health Department by limiting people attending in person today, physically distancing all participants, wearing face masks, and completing our health checks before coming to campus. Today, we recognize September 11th, a day of tragedy and great sorrow for our country that revealed our resilience and heroism. A day when many souls were lost, including two from our Falcon family, William Ruth and Kathy Hawk Nicosia. As we pay homage to our past, we also celebrate our future. This evening, we acknowledge the power of private philanthropy and the transformative impact that it makes on a public university. I would like to recognize several individuals who, through their leadership, philanthropy, and professional expertise, have contributed to the completion of this spectacular facility. First, the leaders and ambassadors of the university who are in attendance. BGSU Board of Trustees Chair, Betty Montgomery. BGSU President, Rodney Rogers, and University Advocate, Sandy Earle. BGSU Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic and Student Affairs, Dr. Joe Whitehead. BGSU Vice President for Finance and Administration and Chief Financial Officer, Sherry Stoll. And the Dean of the Alan W. and Carol M. Schmidthorst College of Business, Ray Braun. Next, Dr. Alan and Carol Schmidthorst, longtime supporters of Bowling Green State University and the principal donors who generously endowed and named the college. A very special acknowledgement of appreciation to Bob and Pat Maurer, who provided the lead gift for this magnificent building. The donors who contributed gifts of $500,000 or more, including EY and the Ernst & Young Foundation, Paul and Margot Hooker, Marathon Petroleum Corporation, Mike and Mary Lee McGranigan, John and Ruth Riedel, and the Peggy Schmeltz family. The many major gift donors of $25,000 or more, and those who made gifts of any amount in support of this important academic building project. I'd also like to recognize the design and construction teams who preserved the structural importance of historic Hannah Hall, beautifully blending the past and the future with the 50,000 square foot building addition that features natural light, open and inviting collaboration and learning space, cutting-edge technology, and LEED environmental certification. From Chicago, Perkins & Will, Michael Palmer, Managing Principal, Joe Connell, Design Principal Workplace, and Brian Schabel, Design Principal. From Toledo, the Collaborative Incorporated, Michael Muse, Design Principal, Dave Serra, Managing Principal, and Chris Jarrell, Job Captain and Construction Administrator. The Construction Manager, Mosier Construction Incorporated, Carly Baker, Project Engineer, Andy Hersey, Project Superintendent, and Andy Bodecker, Project Manager. And of course, the talented BGSU Planning, Design, and Construction team, Christy Pfeiffer, Senior Project Manager of Design, Mike Schuessler, Senior Project Manager, and Brian Swope, Director of Planning, Design, and Construction. We also acknowledge the professional, skilled trades of Northwest Ohio that worked so well together during this challenging pandemic to help make the Maurer Center project a reality for BGSU. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce and welcome to the podium Bowling Green State University Board of Trustees Chair Betty Montgomery. Chair Montgomery.
Good evening. Thank you so much for all you being here today. I wish we could be celebrating with balloons and crowds, but that will come. This is a wonderful evening to celebrate a wonderful moment. When many of the folks who came to America came here, they came without wealth, if not most of them, and they learned very quickly that they had to pull together if they were going to succeed. They had to help each other. And throughout our history, and we see in America, the results of that in our museums, in our libraries, in our schools, in our orchestras. We see in these institutions, these public institutions for public good, the actual beneficiaries from individuals who have realized their dreams here in America, sharing their success and bequeathing to others a better and richer future. You know, as chair of Bowling Green State University, I have to extend my deepest thanks to the Mauers. I'm very fortunate, having worked here and lived here for years and learned my craft here at Bowling Green. I've had a chance to work with particularly Bob. Bob and I, in fact, had a major case here on Bowling Green State University's campus, to the point where I had to literally call him on many occasions and say, please, Bob, tell your client to tell the truth. I really don't want to indict them. This is a wonderful man. This is a wonderful woman. This is a wonderful family. And thank you for sharing your success with all of the students and faculty. We recognize also and thank the 40 other major donors who have been involved in making this reality. We also have to say to you that in our Board of Trustees are several graduates of this very College of Business, the Schmidthorst College of Business. Thank you all. Thank you to the Mauers for their gracious gift. Thank you for investing in our future, in our students' futures. Thank you so much to make us an institution for the public good. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Montgomery. Now I'd like to introduce the Dean of the Allen W. and Carol M. Schmidthorst College of Business, Ray Braun.
Thank you, Vice President Conlon. I'm thrilled to be here tonight in this magnificent building to speak on behalf of the faculty, staff, students, and alumni of the Allen W. and Carol M. Schmidthorst College of Business. Thank you, Bob, Pat, and your family for your extremely generous naming gift for this building and your investment in our students and the future of the Schmidthorst College of Business. The Robert W. and Patricia A. Maurer Center is a unique and stunning building, combining the elegance and tradition of Hannah Hall with a modern purpose-built addition designed for 21st century business education. The Joseph V. and Judith M. Conda foyer restores the luster to the entry of Hannah Hall and leads to this breathtaking 3-story William F. and Peggy L. Schmelz atrium, which fills the building with soft natural light. This is the perfect setting to honor our past as we prepare students for their future. The Maurer Center classrooms facilitate our student-centric active learning approach to business education. The EY Entrepreneurship and the Marathon Petroleum Corporation Innovation Labs foster discovery-based learning. The David and Shirley Levy classroom, floating over us in the atrium tonight, hangs out over the Schmelz atrium and features movable chairs and desks for easy configuration of students for projects. The Business Analytics Lab, with its 27 monitors, enables students and faculty to view larger-than-life images of financial and analytical data while keeping up with the financial markets in real time. The Maurer Center provides convenient support services for student success. The Sister Mary Noreen Gray Student Services Hub, lovingly named by Paul and Margot Hooker to honor a lifetime of humanitarian work by Paul's aunt, houses academic advising and coaching, placement, and recruiting services in one convenient location. The Michael R. and Mary Lee McGranigan's Dean Suite provides one-stop shopping for administrative services. The Drew and Nancy Forehand Cafe make it easy to pick up coffee and a bite to eat. And the Riedel Courtyard, named by John and Ruth Riedel, and the Conda Maurer Terrace, with its expansive views of the BGSU campus, provide beautiful outdoor respites to relax and recharge. The Maurer Center also prepares students for their future workplace. As students enter the David L. Stickler and Rebecca P. Lee entrance, they are warmly greeted at the welcome desk, just like in a corporate office building, where they can be assisted in finding people and places. There are dozens of collaboration spaces where students can work on projects and develop teamwork, communication, and presentation skills. And students will stay informed throughout the day with the ticker system, providing information on financial markets and breaking news. Bob, Pat, as I walk through the building, I see the names of many alumni and friends who are also inspired by your gift to support our new building and the work of our faculty, staff, and students. Your generosity and foresight usher in a new era of business education. Your legacy is the creation of something truly remarkable on the BGSU campus and in the world of business education. To you and your family, we offer a heartfelt thank you for your incredible support. I would now like to introduce and welcome to the podium Janae Johnson, a senior from Euclid, Ohio, specializing in finance, business analytics, and intelligence. She is a Schmidthorst College of Business student ambassador. Janae?
Thank you, Dean. I remember hearing about the new College of Business building during my sophomore year. I heard rumors about the supposed state-of-the-art technology that would be incorporated in the building, that the modern classrooms would enhance discovery-based learning, that students would be able to view stock price updates in real time, and that we'd even be able to receive food and beverages in this building. But the images, the rumors were creating in my mind, and when I was witnessing during construction, didn't match at all. I couldn't imagine the gray concrete building with dust everywhere and gaping holes in the wall that were supposed to be windows being any of those things. But it's definitely safe to say I was wrong. I couldn't believe my eyes when I stepped foot into the Robert W. and Patricia A. Maurer Center on the first day of my senior year. Not only were the rumors true, but they didn't even do the building justice. Upon arrival, I was greeted by a fellow student at the welcome desk who offered to help me with any questions I may have about my new home. Although he had on a face covering, from his kind and sincere voice, I can tell that he was greeting me with a warm smile. This encounter put me in an even better mood as I made my way through the William F. and Peggy L. Schmeltz Atrium, past the EY and Marathon Innovation Labs, and entered Four Hands Cafe for a quick snack, which let me tell you, is so much better than having to fight the infamous Bowling Green Winds to grab a snack from the Union. With the extra time I saved, I decided to say hi to Dean and the Mike and Mary Lee McGranigan's Dean Suite. After entering his office, I mentioned to him how nice his view was, and he reminded me that the John Riedel Courtyard on the first floor and the Conda Maurer Terrace on the third floor were outdoors and had an even better view. Being dean, he also immediately asked me if I had visited the Sister Mary Noreen Gray Student Success Service Hub to discuss my degree audit since I am a senior, and if I had visited the Business Career Accelerator to discuss some past internships I've had and a job offer I was lucky enough to receive recently. I could tell Dean had forgotten I just returned to campus and had class in 5 minutes, so before he could throw anything else at me, I promised him I would do all those things in due time, and I hurried off to my investment class. As I made my way down the stairs, I noticed the floating tickers on the nearby elevator, and as a finance major, seeing the breaking news headlines and the updated financial market quotes, I felt like a kid in a candy store. And it got even better once I reached my classroom, which is in Business Analytics Lab, and I saw the massive monitor, or should I say the 27 screens that make up the large monitor. And I couldn't wait to use the Bloomberg terminals for the class. After class, I decided to make good on some of my promises to Dean, and I visited the John Riedel Courtyard first since he's my student ambassador sponsor. Yes, I decided to play favorites on that day. And after enjoying the nice weather, I made my way to the 3rd floor to view the condo Maurer Terrace. On my way there, I admired the many collaboration and huddle rooms. I could see myself hanging out with friends in the DeBelt family collaboration space or working on projects with classmates in the Civilo Hicks collaboration space. All in all, it was an absolutely fantastic way to start my senior year, and I couldn't have asked for a better day. And I know the spaces I viewed are only a few examples of the spaces and things that students look forward to seeing every time they step foot into the Robert W. and Patricia A. Maurer Center. And as I passed all these spaces and saw the names of the donors on the walls, I was reminded that none of these incredible spaces that us students have today would be possible without the extremely generous hearts of our donors. So, Mr. and Mrs. Maurer, on behalf of all current and future Allen W. and Carol M. Schmidthorst College of Business students, thank you so much for providing the leading investments in our future by naming this building. And many, many thanks to our other very generous donors for providing these spaces for students just like me to learn, collaborate, and grow into future business leaders.
Another great example of fabulous students here at the Schmidthorst College of Business and BGSU. Thank you very much, Janae and Dean Braun. It is now my pleasure to introduce the 12th president of Bowling Green State University, Dr. Rodney K. Rogers. President Rogers.
What an amazing facility, isn't it? Looking out on our campus and thinking of the history that's in this building and the history that will be made in this side of the building. 2020 represents the 85th anniversary of the founding of the College of Business at Bowling Green State University. So this is our 85th year of a college. Now, 2020 has brought us many things. Some not so good, right? And we're facing those today. But some things for 2020 for Bowling Green State University have been absolutely transformational. For example, at the end of July, we announced and celebrated the naming of the Allen W. and Carol M. Schmidthorst College of Business. Thank you, Al, Carol, for your most generous support that will name this college into perpetuity. Thank you so much. And tonight, we dedicate the Robert W. and Patricia A. Maurer Center, the new state-of-the-art facility which demonstrates our commitment to business education for years to come. Let me tell you, as I was reflecting on some comments for tonight's event, I was thinking about kind of where it all started back in 2006 and 2007 with students, faculty, and staff coming together to recognize the need for better facilities that would fit the amazing legacy of this college and certainly meet the aspirations for business education into the future. Now, getting to this point, I just want to say it was a heavy lift that a lot of people have been so involved in. Initially, a new facility for the College of Business was not high on the university's priorities in terms of new facilities. But what was said is if we could raise significant funding, there was a possibility. The dialogue evolved, and private funding, if private funding could be achieved, new and or renovated facilities for the College of Business was then included in the campus master plan, a plan that I want to thank the trustees for, which included the restoration and the investment in the original and the historic part of Bowling Green State University, which Hannah Hall is one of those initial traditions buildings. And when I became provost of the university, we appointed Ray Braun, a corporate leader and an alumnus who had the ambition to raise the funds for this new building. Now, there were several ideas that included a renovation of the old building to maybe creating even a new standalone, new facility for the College of Business. But where we ended up was this idea of renovating Hannah Hall with a significant, and I would say this is a significant, addition to Hannah Hall. Now, as you know, Hannah Hall is one of the original buildings at BGSU, having been started in 1916 and being completed in 1921. So our concept was a nod to the history of our university, but also the integration of old and new, and most importantly, honoring our past, but looking forward to our future. It would be positioned on the corner of Worcester and South College. It would serve as the front door of the university. And you know, the first major commitment to this building was made by Peggy Schmeltz. And I won't forget the conversation we had after her husband, the former dean of this college, passed. Peggy wanted to honor Bill and also to help us achieve our goal of a facility worthy of the college that her late husband, as dean, brought to prominence. So we stand here in the William F. and Peggy L. Schmeltz Auditorium, or Atrium. And I want to thank Peggy and your family for that commitment that began this process. And I also wanted to note what a wonderful mentor Bill was to me when I came in as dean. He spent time with me. I was a brand new green dean, and just he was a great mentor. And so Peggy, your family, thank you so much. The second major gift was Paul and Margot Hooker, and Paul and Margot's energy and passion for business and for BGSU is absolutely infectious. And they wanted to name the space, as the dean mentioned, for Paul's late aunt, Sister Mary Noreen Gray, who dedicated her life to a life of service to others as being a sister of mercy right here in Toledo, actually. And then this led to another significant gift from Michael and Mary Lee McGranahan, Falcon Flames, that were inspired to give because of the education they received at BGSU. However, what remained was that elusive lead gift that was needed for this project to go forward. And when fundraising slowed for the College of Business, now President Emeritus Mary Ellen Mazie and I had an opportunity to visit with Bob and Pat Maurer, and I certainly remember that day well. We had lunch in the President's Suite in the Bowen Thompson Student Union. It was Bob, Pat, Mary Ellen, and myself. We had asked Bob and Pat to provide us with that lead gift for this facility, a gift that would allow this project to move forward. We certainly shared the vision for the next chapter in the future of the College of Business, asking for this foundational support. We know Bob and Pat are very thoughtful people, and as such, they didn't commit that moment. So I remember Mary Ellen and I walking back and saying, I wonder if they're going to say yes. So we thought about that. But sure enough, the next morning, I got a call from Bob Maurer saying, and I could kind of hear in his voice as an alumnus that he and Pat and the whole Maurer family were absolutely committed to providing that lead gift that allowed this project to move forward. Now, his only request was that there be a cornerstone that would acknowledge Mary Ellen Mazie, myself, and the dean. And we would not have expected anything like that, but let me tell you, we weren't going to turn the gift down over that kind of an issue. So there is a cornerstone out there, but it was because Bob and Pat asked that cornerstone to be there. You know, President Emeritus Mary Ellen Mazie could not be here this evening, and she's prioritizing her safety and health in a COVID-19 world that we live in. But I had a great conversation with her this past week, and Mary Ellen's perspective really resonated with me. And so she asked that I share a few comments on her behalf. You know, beyond her heartfelt thanks to Bob and Pat for their decision to provide this transformational support, she just wanted to make sure you knew how this gift really sparked a renaissance not just for the College of Business, but for Bowling Green State University. And as Mary Ellen shared, their foundational gift inspired others to step up. They were leaders that we needed at that time to move this project forward. And I certainly want to acknowledge that conversation we had over lunch would not have happened without Dr. Mary Ellen Mazie, my predecessor, the 11th president of Bowling Green State University. To me, this naming and gift doesn't just demonstrate a commitment to business education, but it reveals who the Maurers are. Bob and Pat, their family, are certainly leaders in the Bowling Green community and certainly in the region. And they want the best for BGSU. But they are also thoughtful and believe in the success of our students and the next generation. Peggy Schmeltz and her family, Paul and Margot Hooker, Michael and Marilee McGranahan, John and Ruth Riedel. All of these individuals gave significant gifts for this building to be built, and Al and Carol Schmidthorst for their transformational gift with respect to the endowment. And nearly 40 other donors, corporations, current and former trustees, members of the foundation board, and leaders in the business have contributed gifts ranging from $25,000 to six figures to support this facility. Tonight, we dedicate this facility. The dream that started in 2006 has become a reality. And as president and as alumnus of this college, I want to express my sincere thanks to those who made this possible. Your support truly made the difference. Our business students, faculty, and staff are now positioned to have a larger impact on the communities that we serve. Alumni from the Schmidthorst College of Business will drive the vitality of our society for years to come. And you know what? It doesn't stop there. The Maurer Center is a hub of knowledge for each student at Bowling Green State University, and it's beyond just the business majors, to be clear. It's a gathering spot for students to learn and listen from one another. The Maurer Center completes the full renovation of our traditions and legacy buildings. It's inspired more philanthropy, and it was the foundation for the transformational naming of the Schmidthorst College of Business, our largest gift and academic endowment in the university's history. And all of these gifts have led to the largest amount of private funds raised on behalf of Bowling Green State University in our history. You know, this is a stake in the ground that we will continue to lead in education because we are focused on our future. And let me tell you, people are noticing. Even in these challenging COVID-19 times, this fall enrollment has increased to the highest level since 2007 at Bowling Green State University. Retention is the highest in our history, and we hold fast to our commitment to serve each student, creating public good and moving Ohio and the nation forward. It should not be lost on us that Hannah Hall started in 1916 and was completed in 1921. And you can see by the different variations in the bricks of when it was started in 1916 and completed in 1921. And as we know, during those years, this country was fighting a global pandemic. And we were also involved in World War I. They were challenging times in 1916 to 1921. Our predecessors persevered to ensure the completion of Hannah Hall. And they focused on the future of Bowling Green State University, just as we here have focused, yes, on this global pandemic in 2020, but we are also persevering to ensure the future of Bowling Green State University. So let us dream even bigger. Because in 2006, a new facility was never the end game. It was the start of something even better. And together, we are creating the future legacy of the Schmidthorst College of Business in the Maurer Center at Bowling Green State University. I Ziggy Zumba. It is now my honor to present to you Bob and Pat Maurer. Thank you.
Very, very good comments. Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Betty, it's always great to see you again, and President, Dean, Pam. It's a pleasure for us to be here, certainly. I think that anybody looking at this building probably could maybe have to think a long time to get the right word to describe it. It's a beautiful building. It's a fantastic building, and we're certainly proud to be a small part of it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Maurer building and our name may be outside on the wall, but certainly the number of names inside. This is truly a Falcon family building. No question, you look around, we're in the Schmelz atrium, we're overlooking the Allen Green and Mary Green Terrace, where the entrance is. There are so many Falcons that have taken part and parcel of this building and endorsed it and sponsored it, that it's truly a Falcon family business, a Falcon family building. We're proud to be a small part of it. Certainly, to take a look at the building, the word that I come up with most often is future. It just looks, it speaks of the future to me, and we're always glad to be part of the future. I can honestly say that prior to saying anything about the building being the Maurer Center, it has to be your building. It's all of the donors and investors in this building have made it purely their building. It's a building that we can all be proud of, and certainly it took each and every one of those investors to make it possible. It's something that each one of us have a part of. We wouldn't be here without each of our contribution, and it took all of us to work together to make it possible. So we're proud to be a small part of it. It's not over yet. The campaign is still going, and I'd like to say just last week, and I look at Teresa Braun out there and Ray Braun behind me, they have just sponsored the assembly area for the BGSU students. It's on the first floor behind me here on Worcester Street, and through only the leadership that Ray and Teresa have, they lead by example. They sponsored some $250,000 in that particular assembly area, and we certainly thank them for their leadership and showing us how to do it by example. I'd like to go on a little bit and say to you that Rodney mentioned the cornerstone out here. One of the conditions of our initial pledge was that cornerstone, and part of the reason for that is that President Emeritus Mary Ellen Mazie Dean Ray Braun, and of course Rodney Rogers, through their leadership, through their commitment, and through their dedication, their insight and their dream, this building became a reality. We're here dedicating it today, and what a dedication, what a building, what a future the College of Business has. We thought that, and we still think that, and I think you all agree, their names had to be on the cornerstone of this building. I'm not sure how many hours, how many days, how many lunches. I can't imagine how long it took them to assemble the family of Falcons to support the building and to sponsor everything, but it was hundreds and hundreds of hours. What a dedicated and what an act of leadership we have, and what a terrific team, management team we have here at the campus. Lastly, I'd like to, and I would be remiss if I did not mention, if you had asked me 2 months ago, I'd have said the College of Business at Bowling Green was probably on Mount Everest. It was as high as it could get. It couldn't get any higher. And then Rodney Rogers comes forward and announces that Alan and Carol Schmidthorst, big benefactors from the university prior, had committed to naming the College of Business. Not only naming it, but endowing it. You know, it's hard to conceive of the number of doors that are open now to Dean Braun and his excellent faculty and staff. But truly, I couldn't imagine the opportunities that are now available to them. The research, the scholarships, the professorships, the visiting speakers, you go on and on and on. The College of Business is definitely on a whole different plane now than it was just 2 months ago. Alan, Carol, Schmidthorst, we certainly thank you for your generosity, for your philanthropy, and for your dedication to BGSU. Thank you very much. Go Falcons. Thank you.
Bob, thank you for your heartfelt and inspiring words. At this time, I would like to ask you and Pat and President Rogers to come forward for a special presentation. Bob and Pat, in recognition of your generosity as the lead donors that made this magnificent facility possible, creating a collaborative environment that will impact the university's ability to educate and empower current and future students to become the next generation of business and community leaders, we are honored to present this beautiful watercolor of the Maurer Center, made by Emily Averett, a BGSU senior from Maumee, Ohio, majoring in studio art.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Rob.
Can I hang this?
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Thank
Great.
you.
You're
Thank
very
you
welcome.
much.
And now I'd like to invite our platform party to join us on the floor for our official ribbon cutting. In addition, I would like to ask that Al and Carol Schmidthorst, Provost Joe Whitehead, and Vice President Sherry Stoll to please join us for this momentous occasion.
And we will have Pam lead the way.
You want me to go?
Everybody should have scissors nearby. Hopefully they work, yes. So I was told what we need to do is hold the ribbon, open the scissors, and on the count of 3, we will cut. But we need to look forward for the photo op, right? So we are about to cut the ribbon for the Maurer Center at Bowling Green State University. 1, 2, 3. Whoops. Okay. My scissors were dull. There we go.
And announce the video.
And now, for our listening audience, you will see a video which presents a video tour of the Maurer Center. Thank you for joining us. And for our guests that are with us tonight, we will be seated for dinner. Thank you so much for joining us.